Hello, I'm Peter Howdle. I'm a retired professor of medicine and I practiced as a consultant gastroenterologist. I was asked to contribute something towards this celebration of the stethoscope and I brought my original one. Now I call it my original stethoscope because I bought it almost 50 years ago at Sacchary's, which was in the old medical school in Leeds. And the problem is, of course, that although it's my original stethoscope, the earpieces have been renewed, the tubing has been renewed, it's a bit longer now than it used to be, and the end piece has been renewed. So it's a bit like George Washington's axe. Is it my first stethoscope or not? I remember the first time we were taught about using our new stethoscopes. There was a patient, an elderly gentleman I remember, who probably had rheumatic fever, and we were taken with our new stethoscopes to listen to his heart. Well, I guess most of us could hardly hear anything to begin with, certainly no heart murmurs. But we were not taught in those days by a very, shall we say, smooth and well-informed registrar who said that he could hear 4 heart murmurs. Well, you can imagine these junior doctors, we looked at each other and raised our eyebrows in disbelief. But he was trumped because the consultant cardiologist then came and he was a very flamboyant character. He could hear 5 heart murmurs. So we were all incredibly impressed. Of course, gastroenterologists don't really use stethoscopes very much. All students will remember that with an acute abdomen, when there's probably been a perforation in the abdominal cavity, there are no sounds to hear. There are no bowel sounds. We call it the silent abdomen. And many people, of course, listen with their stethoscope for silence. Nowadays, of course, we use ultrasound examination and MRI scanning to search for such things. So what about the future of the stethoscope? Well, it's still a great prop for our profession, but I think in the future for general practice, for primary care, it will be useful still, probably particularly related to chest disease. And of course, in developing countries, I think it will be very important for a long time. So I still celebrate my stethoscope, even though, is it the original one or not?